This is a normal set, only if you take rests after the reps, but if you immediately pick up the next weights which are slightly lighter and do reps again, then you are probably attempting a drop set, especially if you are doing this with different types of weights and considering the weights you are going lower.
Yo, what is up guys? So today we're talking about drop sets, I guess, and drop sets are just so simple, doing as many reps as possible consecutively until you go to the failure. Now, you do the same thing with normal sets, but here's the difference. You have only one weight when you're doing your normal sets. So let's say you are doing like something like a hammer curl, and in your normal sets you only pick one dumbbell and you do the hammer curls, right? So when you're doing the hammer curls, you do it as much as possible, maybe like for 10 to 12 reps in your normal sets, or maybe you do it as many as possible until you go to failure. But you put it down and you take rest and you get ready for your next set. What we do here in drop sets, the idea is you actually do the same thing you do in your normal set, but with only one weight, right? So you do it with the 10, let's say 10 kilograms, for example, which is actually 10 kgs. And this is 7.5. And you actually do the same thing with 7.5. So let's say this was 22 pounds, let's say, and this is, I don't know, maybe about 15 pounds. Let's say you do as many reps as possible until you go totally tired and you cannot lift it anymore. So what you do here is you actually put it down, but you don't take rest. Because hey, we got a lighter one again to do the same thing. So you pick the last one, which is 5 kgs, or let's say 11 pounds, and you exactly do the same hammer curls. Now you just want to do this with like 3 to 4 weights. You can actually do it with 2 weights as well. My favorite is actually 3 weights because I love to go down in like 3 different ways. But all you need to do is actually sort your dumbbells descending. Totally do what's actually needed to be done. Now, drop sets almost work on all normal sets and movements, to be honest. Like I, for example, like to do it on tricep extensions, but with dumbbells. And when you're doing that, I love to only pick up 2 dumbbells. Like let's say I have this 16 pounds dumbbell and I have an 11 pounds dumbbell as well. And what I do is I try it. So I do as many reps as possible until I go tired that I cannot do any more tricep extensions with this 16 pounds dumbbell. Now let's say I get tired now, and what I do is I actually pick the lighter one and I totally repeat the same thing. So it's obviously really easy. Come on, man. You want to make those gains, you cannot skip drop sets. I know drop sets are hard. Drop sets are definitely hard because they're designed to actually trigger those small fibers in your muscles. So your muscles are going to grow much more effectively than your normal sets. This is something that I've actually tested for a long time. I've replaced many of my normal sets with the drop sets and I have actually gotten crazy results. So that's why I'm telling you guys, you need to embrace this as well.
Welcome, boys and girls, to the official educational class of Big Rest. Today we are trying to realize why scientifically we need to use drop sets over normal sets and why, for God's sake, do we actually need to trust the people who suddenly came up with the idea that they need to go lower in the weight rather than doing their normal reps. Now, actually, after going through thousands of papers and studies right here, as you can see, no, I'm kidding, I actually only investigated 3 papers because I already knew it's going to work. So actually, after going through a couple of papers here, we can see that based on scientific proofs, drop sets would not necessarily result in higher strength. Interesting. But it almost surely triggers muscle fibers to grow in a much more sufficient way compared to the normal set. Now you might ask, Res, why is that even happening? Why it's not happening in our normal set? Now here's the reason. In your drop sets, you are doing too many reps, actually too many more reps than your normal set, because you are actually going in the lower weight, but you are doing as many reps as possible until you go to the failure, as I previously said. So what is that actually doing to your muscle is that it actually gets your muscle exhausted so much that your actual fibers that were not activated until that moment is gonna actually be triggered into helping you to lift those weights and gain, babies. So probably you now understand why drop sets are much more effective in growth, but not necessarily strength. Now I'm gonna ask you guys, do you care about the strength more than growth, or do you want to look better rather than actually having any specific measurement of your strength?
Alright guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys are gonna actually test the drop set and definitely do it in your leg day as well, because you're gonna actually test it in all of your movements and exercises, and it's definitely dependent on every individual's taste. So comment down below which exercise did you find it the most useful to do drop sets instead of only doing normal reps. Peace.